Bitcoin has been on a wild ride recently, ripping from 109 to 123 in just a few days. Week ago, we were trending sideways, $108,000. Everybody was, and then boom shakalaka, here we go, man. Bitcoin did what it does best. It absolutely skyrocketed into the $120,000 range. Now, we had been targeting $120,000 for a while now, as you know, but life comes at you fast. We got to 123K. Like that. So since we already hit the initial price target, we gotta start thinking, well, what next, Bitcoin? And that's got me thinking about the $150,000 next local top for Bitcoin. So in today's video, let's delve into the charts, see if we can get a good idea on if we're likely to teleport another $30,000 or so up to $150,000 in the short term to mark our next local top. Or alternatively, could it be that the $120,000 is the local top? So if we're all ready, Bears are going to win this one. Repent now. Maybe we should start expecting some kind of consolidation or a pullback around current prices. We'll discuss this too. Now, our question here for today. All right, let's get into this. Let's begin with the best arguments for why we should be expecting $150,000 Bitcoin in the shorter term. I'm not saying tomorrow, but in the next few weeks or months. Okay, I think the absolute strongest argument is because that's the price target projection when you measure the consolidation range that Bitcoin just broke out from. Really, check this out. Let me show you what I mean. Going back in time a little bit, you can see from February through November of 2024, Bitcoin had a huge, fat consolidation, and it ranged sideways between $49,000 and $74,000. So to derive a price target for when this range breaks to the upside, what do? You simply measure from the bottom to the top of the range. You'd be surprised how often this very simple tactic works. Then you project that measurement starting from the top of the range that you just measured, as we've done here. So, and sure enough, you can see that when Bitcoin did finally break out above $74,000, guess what the price target from this measurement was? About $100,000, which Bitcoin hit and did surpass by about another $10,000. But it got you to approximately where we were going. It's always a technical analysis. It's more of an art than a science, but you know, it gives you the momentum, right? So let's do the same thing now, but for Bitcoin. Okay, now that's broken out from its range. So since December of last year, Bitcoin's been ranging between about $74,000 and $110,000. So that distance is about $35,000. So projecting that measurement starting from the top of the range that we just broke out from, well, where does that get us? That takes us approximately to $145,000. Approximately. Again, art, not science. Maybe it gets 153, 152, whatever. But there you have it. As you can think of these ranges as kind of pressure cookers. The more time Bitcoin spends cooling up inside of them, the faster, more violent that it hits the next price target, that it breaks out, that something breaks in the market. The pressure gets released. Now, before we get into the next argument for why Bitcoin's local top is likely to be around $150,000, guys, if you're trading these markets, I know you're trading these markets, you need a great place to do that at. Check out BitUnix. I'm doing most of my futures trading over on BitUnix these days. And here's the deal. When you trade on BitUnix, there's no KYC, there's no VPN. I mean, you just come here. It doesn't matter where you live in the world, what country you're in, you can trade on BitUnix with freedom, with privacy. That matters. And here's the deal. Not only can you long the rips and short the dips with leverage and all your favorite coins, the big coins, the little coins, whatever. When you use the link down below, you can get an insane deposit bonus. You can get $200 back if you deposit $1,000, $400 cash back money in your account if you deposit $2,000 or more. Plus, you can get up to $9,000 in trading bonuses. Basically, it's very simple. The more you trade, the more money they're going to put back in your account, which is pretty awesome. Go check it out. Link's right down here. Thank you very much. Okay, now the next argument for a near-term $150,000 Bitcoin is because that's the next price point when we do the Bitcoin multi-cycle Fibonacci extension analysis. So check this out, guys. Drawing the Fibonacci extension here, okay? This is very interesting because that is how we were able to tell, okay, around the $100,000, $110,000 range is gonna be our first local top, and that's exactly what it was. We draw from the 2016 top to the 2019 bottom. Well, this is a historical, right? But I need you to understand the importance of this. We can see that Bitcoin topped out between 3.618 and 4.236 lines during the 2021 price top. So if we do that same extension, but this time from the 2021 price top to the 2022 price bottom, well, the 2.618 Fibonacci extension line, guess what? That comes in around $156,000. The 1.618 came in around $110,000, by the way. So at a minimum, it makes a lot of sense to expect that Bitcoin will hit this 2.618 Fibonacci level. Why? Because that's what it does. Don't question the math, man. It just works. It just works. But also understand that whenever Bitcoin decides to teleport from one Fib level to the next, it can do it very, very quickly. For example, when Bitcoin moved from the Fibonacci 1 to the 1.618 line late last year, it made that move in just 30 days. Happened real quick. And then we started consolidating, okay? So Bitcoin is absolutely capable of traveling from the 1.618 to the 2.618 level very quickly. It could literally be a few weeks, maybe it takes a couple months. Now, the final reason for why we can see 150K very soon, and that's gonna be our next local top before we enter a new consolidation period, is because of the historical July-August price action for periods that are 12 to 14 months after the Bitcoin halving. Now, it's a bit nerdy, but stick with me. So look, during the 2017 run-up, Bitcoin appreciated about 100% from the beginning of July up to the end of August for the period that was about 12 months after the 2016 halving. Then, during the 2021 bull run, Bitcoin, it did it again, man. It did it again, pumping 52% from July through the August period. That came 14 months after the 2020 halving, and of course was also preceded by a very big pullback. And wouldn't you know it, well, we're in that same period right now, July to August, a year after the Bitcoin halving, 14 months after the 2024 halving, and all Bitcoin needs to do, pump a mere 39%, which we understand Bitcoin is child's play for Bitcoin. Starting from $107,000, it'll be at, well, about $150,000, meaning we're already more than a third of the way there. Now this last one, historical rhyming, really. I'm more interested in the Fibonacci's and stuff like that, but these are my reasons. The 74K to 110K measurement and projection, the 2.618 Fibonacci extension, by the way, the 3.618 Fibonacci extension at $210,000, the 4.236 is up around $250,000, cycle peak. 150K Bitcoin in the near term. Okay, great. But don't think for a second that Bitcoin can't do that, okay? Now, what about our alternative theory? The idea that instead of Bitcoin just teleporting straight up to 150K in the near term, what if we just chop and range in the 110s and the 120s for the next few, maybe even months, weeks, maybe months? Oh, the stink around here. Everyone's gonna lose their effing minds. Oh, it didn't go higher, the top's in forever, blah. And then we get to run the 150K in Q4. Well, the first argument for why this might happen is a technical one, and is simply that Bitcoin often needs to drop down, use its prior high as support, fill in any price gaps, and then it likes to go higher. Doesn't necessarily need to do that, but you'll see it often does. So for example, when Bitcoin ripped from 74K to 100K, it left a big fat gap between the two price levels. Now there's plenty of price gaps that just simply never get filled, okay? Just need to understand that, but still, it's a relevant conversation point. So sure enough, Bitcoin eventually does drop back down, fill in the gap, and then uses a prior highest support, and only then does it go higher. Similarly, Bitcoin is creating another gap right now with its latest price move. So don't be shocked if you see the price drop back down to $110,000. It's literally not even all that crazy, guys. We can use it as support, and then of course we can go higher after that. Finally, on the macro front, it does appear that Trump's tariff threats are indeed ramping up again. The letters are being sent out and things are happening. So maybe that puts pressure on stocks as well, or maybe stocks just don't care anymore. We've priced it all in. We're just gonna go higher anyway. The big beautiful bill's out. That's gonna bring so much money flooding in the system. Who cares? Bitcoin runs for a month or two, gets our 150K peak, and then we get some turbulence into the end of the year. It's all totally possible. But thus far, it appears the market is becoming immune to the tariff issue. The Trump taco trade, as they call it. Okay, so right now, I'm generally optimistic that this won't be an issue for Bitcoin in the near term, but we'll just have to wait and see. We know we're not immune to the macro stuff, so you have to keep that stuff in mind. So to wrap it all up, the reasons for why we might see Bitcoin rip to 150K in the near term, to me, feel pretty decent. Maybe we chop at current levels for the next few months. Wouldn't be shocked either. Either way, we're still going to win. We're not going down to 50K tomorrow or some BS like that, okay? Firstly, I'm pretty convinced we're going to go to 150K in the not so distant future, but I'm always open to the possibility that that's not what's going to happen. And you have to, as a trader in these markets, be ready for any scenarios. But I think 150K does come this year at some point, even if we don't get it over the next month or two. I'm flexible. I can wait. I've been waiting this long. I'm waiting for $1 million. I'll keep waiting. It's fine. As always, hope for the optimistic scenario, but be prepared for more ranging and pain in case it comes. Thanks for watching.